Have you ever noticed something kind of strange? People all over the world cannot agree on almost anything. Some countries drive on the right side of the road, some drive on the left. Some countries measure things in inches and pounds. Others use meters and kilograms. Some countries plug their chargers into two flat holes. Others use three round ones. Some people eat with forks and knives. Others eat with chopsticks or their hands. People argue about which way toilet paper should hang. They argue about the right way to boil an egg. They cannot even agree on which day the week starts. But there is one thing that almost every single country on planet Earth agrees on. Every time. No arguments. Red means stop. Yellow means wait. Green means go. From Tokyo to Nairobi to a tiny village in Peru to the biggest, busiest street in India, almost every traffic light on Earth uses the exact same three colors in the exact same order. That should feel a little bit weird. Humans do not agree on stuff like this. So how did billions of people speaking thousands of languages who will never meet each other in their entire lives end up agreeing on this one tiny thing? Let's find out. Here is something you might not expect. Cars have only been around for about 130 years. And when they first showed up, there were no lights, no signs, no rules at all. Just chaos. Horses, wagons, and brand new noisy machines all sharing the same dusty roads. It was a mess. People needed a signal, and they did not invent a brand new one from scratch. They copied one that already existed. Trains. Railroads had been using colored signals for years to tell train drivers when to stop and when to go. And red already meant danger. Long before cars. Long before trains even. Ships used red lights as warning signals. Armies used red flags to mark danger. Across history, in cultures that had never even spoken to each other, red kept showing up again and again as the color of watch out. There is a real science reason for that. Out of every color your eyes can see, red light travels the farthest. It punches through fog. It punches through rain. It punches through dust in the air better than any other color. So if you are far away and it is hard to see, red is the color most likely to still get through and grab your attention. Red is not just a color someone picked at random. It might be the color your eyes are built to notice first. And think about it for a second. Nobody had to sit you down and teach you that red feels urgent. You already knew it before anyone explained anything. That is a strange kind of knowledge to just be born with. So in 1868, a man in London took those train signals and built the very first traffic light for a street. It was a giant gas lamp with red and green glass, and a police officer had to stand next to it and turn it by hand. Red meant stop. Green meant go. There was one small problem. It exploded. A gas leak made the whole thing blow up and hurt the police officer standing next to it. So that idea got shelved for a while. Oops. It took almost 50 more years before anyone tried again. In 1914 in Cleveland, Ohio, the first electric traffic light was switched on. Still just red and green. Stop and go. Nothing in between. But think about stop and go with absolutely nothing in between. That is dangerous. Picture driving toward a green light and it suddenly flips straight to red with zero warning. Cars would slam into each other constantly because nobody had any time to slow down. Someone needed to invent a warning color, a get-ready color. The person who patented that fix in 1923 was a man named Garrett Morgan. He was already a clever, hard-working inventor, and one day he saw a bad crash happen right in front of him at an intersection. So he added a third position to the signal, a middle step between stop and go, giving drivers a heads up before the light changed. That third light became yellow. Why yellow and not, say, purple or pink? Same reason as red. Yellow is one of the most visible colors to the human eye, especially far away, especially in bad light. It practically glows. Your eyes lock onto it fast, which is exactly the job you want from a color whose entire purpose is pay attention, something is about to happen. And green just needed to be the color that was easiest to tell apart from red, for the largest number of people possible. Here is a fact a lot of people do not know. About 1 out of every 12 boys and a smaller number of girls have some kind of red-green color blindness. Their eyes have trouble telling red and green apart. So how does that not cause a traffic disaster every single day? Because of where the lights sit. On almost every traffic light on Earth, Red is always on top and green is always on the bottom, in that exact order, every time. Same shape, same position, everywhere. So even someone whose eyes cannot fully tell the colors apart can still read the signal just from where the light is glowing. Pretty clever. It is the same reason a stop sign is shaped like an octagon, and not like a circle or a square. Even if you could not read the word stop at all, even if the sign were painted gray, that 8-sided shape alone would tell you what it means. Shape and position became a backup language, in case color alone was not enough. Now we have all 3 colors and real reasons behind each one. But that still does not explain the biggest mystery of all. How did this spread to the entire planet? Nobody made a rule that every country on Earth had to follow this. There is no world president who can order every single country to do the same thing. Countries argue about things way bigger than traffic lights and still cannot agree. But here is what actually happened. As cars spread around the world, country after country looked at what was already working somewhere else and simply copied it. The colors already made sense. The order already made sense. Nobody wanted to invent their own confusing version from zero. Then, in 1968, a group of countries sat down together and signed an agreement promising to keep using the same system, so that if you ever drove in a different country, you would not have to relearn what the colors meant. Red for stop, yellow for wait, green for go, no matter where on Earth you happen to be standing. And it worked. It is still working today. Here's the part that makes it even stranger. The word for red is different in every language on Earth. In Japan, it's AKA. In Kenya, it's nyekundu. In Peru, it's rojo. Thousands of different words for thousands of years invented completely separately by people who never met. But underneath all those different words, the meaning stayed exactly the same. Stop. Every single time, language could not agree on a word. Humanity still agreed on the idea. So the next time you are in a car or crossing a street and you look up at a traffic light, take 1 second and really think about what you are looking at. That light was built off of old train signals from over 150 years ago. Its colors were chosen because of how your eyeballs are wired to spot danger. It only has 3 colors because a light exploded in London and a man named Garrett Morgan solved the problem in 1923. And it looks almost exactly the same in nearly every country on the planet. Not because anyone forced it to happen, but because one country at a time, humans just quietly agreed. Nobody voted on it. Nobody signed one giant piece of paper that every human on Earth put their name on. It just spread. Country by country, decade by decade, until billions of people who will never meet each other, who do not speak the same language, who cannot agree on almost anything else, all stop at the exact same color for the exact same reason without even thinking about it. That is not just a traffic light. That might be one of the biggest, quietest agreements the entire human species has ever made. And you probably drove past one today and did not even notice. Somewhere right now, on the opposite side of the planet, a kid you will never meet, who speaks a language you have never heard, is standing on a sidewalk, staring up at the exact same 3 colors in the exact same order, waiting for the exact same reason you do. Neither of you planned that. Neither of you agreed to it out loud. It just happened, one country at a time, until it covered the whole world. So here is a question to sit with. If humans can quietly agree on something like this without ever holding one giant meeting, without ever writing one shared rule book that everyone actually read, what other invisible agreements are you following right now without even realizing it?